why will there be a 40% increase in electricity tariff?
Well, we are still hoping that the government would reconsider their stand on that. The issue of the 40% increase in electricity tariff that we are expecting to start seeing from the 1st of July 2023. It's more or something that is happening by rote.
Okay.
By rote. R-O-T-E, rote. Because it's been there, it's been planned, because of what is called MYTO. MYTO.
Yeah.
The Multi-Year Tariff Order.
Yeah.
Now, this MYTO came into effect in 2015 and was supposed to run for a period of 10 years. 2015, and it's supposed to end in 2024. And it provided for an incremental rise in the cost of electricity over a period of 10 years. And it was supposed to operate using minor and major increments annually for 10 years. In some instances, it had to be put on hold. For instance, when COVID came.
Yeah.
COVID made it hard to. But eventually they implemented it. In certain instances, they had to do 3 times in a year. 2 minors, 1 major. The minors, they don't announce them. You just, unless you're watching. And that is why I encourage people to look at anytime you transact anything electricity.
How many units?
Look at the bill.
Yeah.
When they give you the postpaid bill, please scan it. That thing is an official document. So, MYTO was introduced in 2015 to encourage investment in the sector. So, rather than stay on one tariff, and of course, to also remove the subsidy in electricity. So, rather than stay on one tariff, like for instance, we all stayed on 30 naira 23 kobo for some years as households, while businesses were paying 40-something naira, 50-something naira then. But MYTO came in and it started changing the energy prices incrementally until we got to where we are now. And now MYTO is about to apply on July 1, 2023.
Mr. Osuji, I imagine that the one for July is major, not minor.
It's major, 40% increment.
It's major.
Yes.
For what you have described the purpose of MYTO to attract investment, it would sound good to investors, but to the consumer, that's bad news. For us to have a system where for 10 years, you're told very clearly that your tariff will continue to go up, it's not something I would be okay with because it's taking money out of my pocket. Was there no way around a steady increment of electricity tariff consistently for 10 years?
Well, like I said, it was supposed to encourage investment in the sector because you're not going to tell Sam Chinedu to come and invest $10 billion or $10 million in generation of electricity. And he looks at his unit cost of generation per kilowatt because you have to always look at how many kilowatts you're consuming. That's that's a billing bottom line. Now you look at how many kilowatts you're generating and it's coming at, let's say, 40 naira per kilowatt. That's your cost of generating 1 kilowatt. 40 naira. And then somebody is asking you to sell at 30 naira. Unless the person is prepared to pay you the difference. And the difference is not going to be between what you're asking you to charge the customer and what the cost of generating. You're going to push it to 50 naira per kilowatt.
Yeah, so they can make a profit.
Yes.
Now, naturally, if I'm paying more for something, I would expect better service delivery. Will this increase in tariff translate to better service and supply for Nigerians?
No, you will be lucky if you get what you're still getting.
Ha! No, now this is a bad deal now, Mr. Osuji.
Yes, because look at it. We've dollarized our economy. We've dollarized everything. Everything is now dependent on the vagaries of the forex market. Yes, that's what is going on. You are not okay. For instance, let me give you why do you still have beer that is selling at lower prices? You know why? Because we're producing the beer here. We're not importing the beer. You still have the imported beers for those who can afford the prices of the imported beer. But why is pure water still selling what it's selling? Because you're not importing it, you're producing it here. So until we begin to loosen up the sector more, until the government really means business about the removing its hands from the exclusiveness that it has treated electricity for all this while, and allows it not just to run concurrently, but also to encourage the private sector. Let me even tell you, the worst thing any government can do, any state government can do, is to go into the business of electricity.
Why?
Create the enabling environment. People will generate the power. Since I came here last week on the issue of CNG, compressed natural gas, I have received numerous calls. People who want, somebody came from Abuja to see me to talk about how do we do it, that they have the funds. They have the funds. They want to come into the market. But I had to tell them, because they wanted to carry everything. I said, streamline. What is your business model?
While you're dealing with what you're paying for electricity, you have to fall to your generator. The petrol is also expensive. So could it have been done at a later time?
Certainly. Certainly. And that is what the Nigerian Labour Congress should try to include in their discussions with the government. The NLC should bring up that issue of July 1. Are we tying ourselves to July 1? Look at the human cost, the sufferings to the people. Like you said, what is the fallback? You know, what alternatives do we have? How many people have solar energy in their homes? I mean, have solar panels and can fall back on that. And even at that, you know, it has limitations too. What amount of energy can it really give you, particularly with the rains? You know, so the government should reconsider. I'm advocating that the government should reconsider and push it off. I know it's been determined by the MYTO Act that by July 1 it should go up. But you've just done an increment less than a month ago.
Yeah.
This is going to be too much. We're all reeling from the effect of the subsidy removal. But while we're at that, you need to take measures to protect yourself, just in case there's no human face brought to bear on this situation. If there's no human face brought to bear on it, you need to take steps to protect yourself. Go back now, take a pen and paper, and begin to make a list of the appliances in your house. It's important, yes. Every single appliance in your house, take note of them. Find out the ones that are necessary. We have a lot of unnecessary things running on energy in our houses. Do you know? Yes. If you know what is not really necessary, remove it. Let me tell you how bad it is. When you're washing your clothes, don't squeeze it.
I know now. You never reach like that.
You don't reach like that, sir. Don't squeeze your clothes. Do you know why? Do you know why? So that you don't have to even iron.
Oh my.
Yes. Just do a lot of flagging it up and down. But go and hang it. I miss the days of wash and wear. Those days we used to have trousers that they call wash and wear. You know, although on a lighter note, a comedian said wash and wear. He went and bought the clothes. He finished, Mr. Ibu, he finished washing it and he wore it wet.
Yeah.
He didn't allow it to dry. And he said wash and wear. Wash and wear meant you didn't need to iron. I think those days need to come back when you don't have to, because iron is a major consumer of electricity.
Indeed.
But do you know that there are irons that are cheaper in terms of consumption of electricity? So if you have the one that consumes 1,800 watts, do you know how much that is? Divide the 1,800 watts by 1,000. It gives you what it is in kilowatts. Multiply by the tariff, multiply by VAT. Then you begin to understand what you're spending on that iron each time you put it on.